The Mississippi Delta is an expanse of quiet, flat agricultural fields. In the fading daylight, the landscape is entirely still. On the evening of March 24, 2023, the sun completely sets over the small town of Rolling Fork. The town is laid out in a tight-knit grid of homes in quiet streets, settling in for a normal Friday night, unbothered by the weather. But miles away, just out of sight in the darkness, the atmosphere is boiling into a fiercely volatile state. The physical intensity of an EF4 tornado is lethal, and in this landscape, that danger is compounded by the element of surprise. When visual confirmation of a threat is stripped away, humans are left in a sensory blind spot, deeply vulnerable to what they cannot see. As the atmospheric shift rapidly accelerates across the Mississippi Delta, a suffocating blanket of pitch-black darkness completely consumes the entire region. The most catastrophic weather events are not always the ones you can watch approach. Sometimes they are cloaked entirely by the environment itself. At exactly 8 p.m., the severe weather warnings trigger as a massive supercell barrels toward the town. This storm introduces the first deadly component of the night: extreme forward velocity. The supercell is moving across the landscape at an astonishing 50 miles per hour. This tracking data shows the exact scale of the threat, with heavy storm cell vectors hooking directly toward Rolling Fork. At 50 miles per hour, this speed mathematically compresses a standard warning window from hours down to minutes. That high-speed geographic traversal directly conflicts with the slow reality of human reaction time. Residents have to wake up, process the alarm, and physically move their families to shelter. This split screen illustrates the timeline compression. Traversing a 10-mile distance at 50 miles per hour takes only 12 minutes, barely leaving enough time for a household to mobilize. For the residents on the ground, this compressed timeline presents a fatal reality. At highway speeds, a severe weather warning ceases to be an opportunity for escape. It becomes barely enough time to brace. Compounding that extreme speed is the second deadly factor: the nocturnal setting. Statistically, nocturnal tornadoes are disproportionately more lethal. Victims are often asleep, and outdoor warning sirens are easily muffled by the heavy rain and the walls of a home. Humans have a deep physiological reliance on visual confirmation. When an alarm sounds, our absolute first instinct is to look outside to verify the danger before taking action. The pitch-black darkness of the Mississippi Delta completely nullifies that natural survival instinct. Staring out into the night yields only sheer terror and sensory deprivation. There is nothing to see but blinding sideways rain and pure blackness. The darkness weaponizes the storm. It turns natural human skepticism and our ingrained need for visual proof into a fatal delay. The third factor of this triad ensures the tornado remains completely invisible, even up close. It is rain-wrapped, a severe weather state where heavy precipitation forms a thick physical curtain entirely surrounding the central vortex. This supercell cross-section shows the internal structure. A dense, opaque wall of rain acts as a 360-degree shield, completely hiding the mile-wide blender spinning inside. This shield ensures the tornado remains entirely invisible, even when ambient lightning flashes illuminate the surrounding clouds. Then, the unseen EF4 monster, packing winds of 170 miles per hour, slams into Rolling Fork's residential zones. Deprived of sight, the residents' only warning is sensory. They hear the mechanical roar of colliding freight trains and feel the violent vibration of their foundations tearing loose. In an instant, entire neighborhoods are structurally compromised and reduced to splinters in the dark. The combination of high velocity, the reality of total darkness, and the rain-wrapped curtain created a threat that neutralized the warning window, leaving almost no time to react. The chaos abruptly ends. Daybreak arrives, bringing daylight that finally breaks the sensory deprivation. The rising sun reveals a sweeping, catastrophic scale of devastation. An entire town has effectively been erased from the map. The damage in residential zones is absolute. Many structures were torn directly from their foundations, leaving behind only the concrete slabs where homes once stood. Brought down to a human scale, the aftermath is staggering. Survivors face an insurmountable task of recovery amid mangled metal and splintered wood. The human toll of the event is tragic. 17 lives were lost in the darkness during those few terrifying minutes. Rolling Fork underscores the specific danger of a nocturnal tornado in the American South. When a high-speed, rain-wrapped vortex strikes in total darkness, the environment itself becomes the primary obstacle to survival.